I need it.
I need it.
I need it.
I need it.
What's good, y'all? This your boy AB, hip hop artist, Arizona. We here to chop it up about dopamine.
Yes, sir. This is Wayne Klassik, producer, and I produced AB's project, Stories from Depression, on all major platforms right now. Go get that.
Hey.
We brought in a process of, or progress of different emotions, and each song kind of represented that. But specifically, Dopamine, just kind of like we're going for more of a grimy sound, more of a raw sound, just because that's the message that we were trying to portray for Dopamine.
So the lyrics, so when I wrote this song, after Wayne produced the beat, I knew that I wanted it to be 3 verses, because in my mind I already knew like the 3 topics I wanted to talk about, which was pride, lust, and depression. And so basically the whole album, actually, Stories from Depression, it was kind of cool how it happened because it was very structured. Like I pretty much had it all written out and then brought it to Wayne, and then we just like from there started the creative process as far as production goes. But yeah, with Dopamine, like I already knew what each verse would be about, and so when we got the production done, like basically I was like, all right, well, first verse is about pride, and so basically yeah, so the whole verse, first verse writing, as I was writing, just keeping in mind like what the topic is and like ways to express and paint what pride can look like, and specifically for me, like what pride looks like for me. Pride is a thing that I think a lot of us struggle with, and definitely myself. And so yeah, and then like lust, the second verse, again, just coming from personal experiences, personal struggles. You know, lust has always been a battle for me, and so so yeah. And then the third verse kind of just wrapped it up. It was like yo, this is it. Like, dang, there's nothing else that can please me. Like, I'm depressed, you know what I'm saying, which is the whole theme of the album. But the third verse are really trying to hit home with like, dang, like pride let me down, lust let me down, now I'm depressed, and it's kind of like, yo, what can please me, you know? Like I already had every song written out, and like I was like, I necessarily didn't have the order of the album yet, but I was like, all right, these are what the songs will be called. And so literally every session me and Wayne would have, like I would come to him that night, I was like, all right, this is the song name, this is kind of the vibe I feel behind it, and then we would work from there. And so Dopamine was that type of track. It was like yo, what's a grimy type feel that we can make. And most of the songs, I'll say maybe Dopamine and Inspiration, I think, were the only 2 that I wasn't necessarily with Wayne during the process, the creative process. And so he pretty much made Dopamine, most of it, I would say, if not all of it, before I even like sat with him, and then he sent it to me, and I loved it. But yeah, Dopamine, yeah, like I said, we already knew the name of the song. And so, and we knew what route we wanted to take as far as vibe of the production, and to write it. Usually, we would make the beat, and I would come the following, usually the same day, the next week, following week, and we lay it down. So to write the song, it probably took me about a week, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably all together, maybe about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'd say 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then right before we actually went to do like mixing and mastering, I added that bass line at the end.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. I forget about that.
The thing I really like about the production of that track is like, and honestly, I think I just realized that you talked about different things for each verse. I just just realized that right now.
Yeah.
But I think just instinctively at the end, I kind of wanted to add like a drowning effect.
Yeah.
Where you're just consumed in yourself.
Yeah, that
and
drop
at
was
this point,
crazy.
yeah, so that's where that drop came from.
Yeah.
Where it's just like,
Yeah.
just like, all right, it's over. Like I'm beyond.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like point of no return. I remember, bro, when I heard that drop the first time, I went crazy. I think I was driving and I was listening to it in my car, and I like almost lost control. Not really, but like it was crazy the first time I heard that drop.
Yeah,
it was dope.
yeah.
The thing that we both said and like agreed on was like everybody can struggle with depression. Muslims, atheists, Buddhists, it don't matter. Like we can all go through depression. And so we wanted to keep that in mind during the creative process. We wanted to make an album that can resonate with anybody that listens to it. This album specifically, like if you talk about music in general, you can go a bunch of different ways. But with this album specifically, being a Christian, we wanted to make an album that, again, that anybody can listen to and it can resonate with them. It could be helpful, and they could take something from it. But at the same time, being a Christian, you can't but help talk about the one that your hope's in, right? And so, and that's what we're trying to paint. Like the album is almost like a roller coaster. It's like an inverted one, I would say. You're like kind of in the pits, and then it like comes up, and it's like, all right, now you got joy, freedom, all the songs at the end of the album. And so yeah, it's like, like that's why we did the album that way too. I think it's like, I want to show you that I'm broken just like you. I'm not perfect. I still have struggles then and now. And but guess what? There's hope. There's a real hope.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's like how we wanted to maneuver that. And then in general, like pulling from other artists and all that stuff, like in general, making music as a Christian. Like me personally, I think as Christians, we should strive even more to make perfect art. And so, I mean, cats like Kendrick, cats like J. Cole, whoever it may be that you may call quote unquote secular, like we could at least say they perfect their craft. They put a lot of time into it. So like I'm like, why can't we do that as well? Same process, but still, to make it about the Lord, because as Christians, we know what it's all for. It's all for God's glory, right? And so, like, we don't want to make music that sounds corny, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, sometimes people, can say, well, I'm doing it for the Lord, so it don't matter, in that regard. But I would just make the challenge, like, since you are doing it for the Lord, take that extra step and really put time into it. Be a good steward, you know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean you gotta compromise and be like them. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is just, just take your time, perfect your craft, and just put your all into it.
Yeah. So what I did is every single time I hit a snare, I said Jesus. But yeah, just to echo what he's saying, is excellence. Just striving for excellence. That's what it's all about. We do everything onto God, and so the thing is, every rapper is preaching. They're preaching what they believe. So if it's about money, they're preaching their thoughts about money. If it's about girls, they're preaching about girls. If it's about cars, they're preaching about cars, letting you know what shoes you need to wear, what you need to do. And so every artist is communicating a message to their audience on what's in their heart, what they believe in, and what they want the audience to know. And we're just doing the same. So there's times where in a song, it might be intense because it's an intense message. You're talking about a struggle, so you're going hard. So that's why I can pull from a song that may not necessarily be glorifying God to get a feeling that's saying like, all right, this is intense. Like I'm struggling, or I'm passionate about this thing, or I'm feeling good. So in Dopamine, the reason I was able to pull from sources that may not necessarily be like a Christian song is because the message was, hey, look, I'm trying to find fulfillment in things that are empty in the end. And we can pull from those sources and portray that message, but say, hey, but listen, keep listening to the project. There's hope. And the only person that we can find healing in, and we can find fulfillment in, because that's really all the song is about. It's about finding hope, trying to find completion, trying to find fulfillment in things that only God can fill.
That's good.
We got a God-sized hole that only God can fill it.
God, yep.
Sex can't fill it. Drugs can't fill it. Pride can't fill it. Only God can.
Yeah, that's good.
Me. After this dopamine.